Welcome to episode 442 of AI Brief. We've got a great deep dive for you. We are tracking a massive structural shift for you today, like the foundational technology of artificial intelligence, the very systems powering everything you use, is basically being challenged at the highest levels. We're unpacking Yann LeCun's massive $1 billion war chest for an entirely anti-LLM vision.
We're also going to look at exactly why Meta acquired that viral bot-only social media platform you just mentioned.
Plus, we're examining Mira Murati's staggering move to secure a literal gigawatt of NVIDIA compute power.
And we have a deliberate breakdown of today's other major industry shifts and the top trending productivity tools you can deploy in your own workflow right now.
So, getting into it, the biggest news today really strikes at the core of how the entire industry operates. Because for the last few years, the whole ecosystem has relied on, the dominance of large language models.
Right, text prediction has been the holy grail.
But now, Yann LeCun is making a very public and honestly very expensive bet that the LLM approach is fundamentally a dead end.
And he is putting staggering capital behind that conviction. Advanced Machine Intelligence, which they are calling AMI Labs, just launched with a $1.03 billion seed round.
Which is just wild. Seed rounds are usually, what, a few $1,000,000 to test an idea?
Exactly. Raising $1 billion out of the gate values this new company at $3.5 billion immediately. And the backers are just a powerhouse list. We're looking at NVIDIA, Samsung, Bezos Expeditions, Eric Schmidt, and Mark Cuban.
To understand why those heavyweights are writing checks of that size, you have to look at the architect behind the company. Yann LeCun is a Turing Award winner. And until November, he was the chief scientist at Meta.
He spent 12 years building and leading their fundamental AI research team, Ferrar.
Yeah.
And he reportedly just walked into Mark Zuckerberg's office and told him point blank that he could build world models faster, cheaper, and better on his own, entirely outside of the Meta corporate structure.
The shift from large language models to these world models requires a complete reframing of how we think about machine intelligence. I look at it like the difference between someone who has only ever read the dictionary versus someone who has actually walked outside and lived in the physical world.
But I think that's a good way to put it.
Right. The dictionary reader knows every single word in existence. They can flawlessly predict the next logical word in a sentence, but they have never actually felt gravity.
They don't understand the physical causality of what happens when a glass is pushed off the edge of a table.
Exactly. They just know the statistical probability of the word shatter appearing next to the word glass.
And that physical understanding is the exact gap AMI Labs intends to close. Their systems are not designed to generate better conversational text. They are aiming to simulate how the physical world actually operates.
With persistent memory.
Yes. They're focusing squarely on sectors like manufacturing, robotics, wearables, and healthcare. A robotic arm on an assembly line or a wearable medical device does not need to write a sonnet. It requires a concrete, persistent understanding of spatial geometry and physical reality.
And the optics of this launch are just as fascinating as the tech. The headquarters for AMI is in Paris, with additional research hubs mapped out for New York, Montreal, and Singapore.
Plus, he's been highly vocal, actively referring to Silicon Valley as being LLM-pilled.
Yeah, he is entirely rejecting the current ecosystem's obsession with scaling up text tokens. So leaving Meta gives him the complete architectural freedom to execute this alternative vision. He is no longer bound by the legacy infrastructure required to support massive consumer social networks.
He really has the runway to build physical logic systems from the ground up now.
But his departure leaves a massive vacuum, which raises the question of what Meta is prioritizing in his absence. And it turns out they are aggressively doubling down on the agentic layer of AI.
They just executed a major acqui-hire that completely changes their social infrastructure. Meta officially absorbed the creators of Moltbook into its Superintelligence Labs team.
Right, bringing in co-creator Matt Schlicht and his OpenClaw bot, which is famously known on the platform as Claude Clauderberg. Moltbook is just a fascinating digital space. It is a highly viral, vibe-coded social forum designed almost exclusively for AI agents to interact with one another.
And the timeline of this acquisition is incredibly aggressive. Moltbook only started in late January as a weekend project.
Wow, just January.
Yeah, and the backstory is full of industry maneuvering. Zuckerberg had originally been courting a developer named Peter Steinberger, who built the OpenClaw framework that powers a lot of these autonomous bots.
But Steinberger accepted an offer from OpenAI in February.
Right, so the moment Meta lost him, they immediately pivoted and bought the Moltbook team outright. And the scale Moltbook reached in such a short time is what makes this so critical. The platform currently hosts 2.8 million registered active bots.
And operating alongside that massive bot population are only about 200,000 verified human users.
Meta is describing this acquisition as the foundation for an always-on directory for agent coordination. The content on the platform is completely unfiltered machine-to-machine interaction. You literally have posts about emergent bot religions and anti-human manifestos going absolutely viral.
Which solves a very practical, immediate problem for Meta's ecosystem. Like their rollout of AI bots across Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook has faced significant user backlash. It's often messy, and users frequently do not know if they are interacting with a human account or an automated machine.
Moltbook provides a distinct, verified layer for that.
Exactly. The bots on this platform operate openly and explicitly as bots. They completely drop the facade of pretending to be human, which allows for frictionless agent-to-agent interaction without confusing human users.
So while Meta is buying software and platforms to organize these agents, others are securing the raw physical power required to bring them to life. We are seeing a massive shift from acquiring software talent to monopolizing physical infrastructure.
That brings us to Mira Murati and the staggering moves happening at Thinking Machines Labs. This is shaping up to be an incredible comeback narrative. Mira Murati is the former chief technology officer of OpenAI. She stepped down and founded Thinking Machines Labs just a year ago.
And the startup had an explosive start. They raised $2 billion at a $10 billion valuation.
But then this past January, they suffered a massive exodus. Key employees left and headed back to OpenAI. The general consensus in the industry was that TML was already fading before it could release a flagship product.
But she responded to that narrative by executing one of the largest infrastructure plays of the year. Thinking Machines Lab secured a multi-year deal with NVIDIA. They are receiving a commitment for at least 1 gigawatt of compute power.
A full gigawatt.
Yes. Utilizing NVIDIA's next-generation Vera Rubin systems, this deployment is targeted to go live in early 2027. And alongside the hardware deal, NVIDIA also injected an undisclosed but clearly massive amount of new capital into the company.
I really want to pause on that specific measurement, a gigawatt. We are so used to talking about cloud storage or server racks that the physical reality of this technology gets lost. A single gigawatt is enough electricity to power a medium-sized city.
It's hard to even picture.
Right. We are talking about monopolizing the energy grid of a metropolis just to run mathematics. Securing a gigawatt of dedicated infrastructure is not a subtle move. It shows TML is playing for absolute keeps.
Especially when you consider their current product lineup. Right now, TML only has one live product on the market. It is called Tinker, which is an enterprise fine-tuning API.
You do not need a gigawatt of raw power to fine-tune existing models for enterprise clients.
Exactly. This immense infrastructure commitment sends a clear signal. They are preparing to train their own massive frontier models from scratch. They are building the kind of physical footprint that is usually reserved for the absolute largest legacy labs in the world.
Let us step back. We need to carefully examine the software changes released today. The massive compute power being purchased is the exact fuel driving new integrations. The theoretical infrastructure is translating into everyday tools. The landscape of daily work is fundamentally shifting.
Google is permanently altering its workspace ecosystem. Gemini is no longer a separate chat window. It is deeply embedded directly into Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Drive.
This is not just a cosmetic update. It operates by pulling cross-app contexts simultaneously. The system acts as an overarching intelligence. It accesses your private files, your email history, and real-time web data all at once to execute complex commands.
The specific capabilities illustrate how deep this integration goes. In Google Docs, the system analyzes your previous documents. It writes new drafts that actively mimic your individual writing style and tone. In Sheets, the system drafts entire spreadsheets from scratch. It auto-populates complex tables by pulling verified information directly from Google Search.
It extends to presentations as well. Slides will generate fully editable, theme-matched presentation decks on demand. And Google Drive now acts as an omniscient search engine for your private workspace. It answers complex, natural language questions by scanning across all your data. These features are officially rolling out in beta right now for Google AI Ultra and Pro subscribers.
Google also pushed Gemini Embedding 2 into public preview today. It is a single, unified system. It understands and searches across text, images, video, and audio simultaneously. It does this without needing to translate those formats in text first.
Over at OpenAI, they introduced highly interactive visual modules directly into the ChatGPT interface. These modules cover more than 70 complex math and science concepts, You can visually tweak the variables on the screen. You can watch the formulas and interactive graphs respond in real time.
In the voice sector, Hume AI opened access to a new speech generation system called Teddy. It mathematically locks the text generation and the audio output in perfect sync. This structural lock eliminates the hallucinations and stutters common in spoken output. It operates 5 times faster than current market competitors. The model is lightweight enough to run natively on local devices.
We are also seeing the legal boundaries of these autonomous systems being tested. Amazon just secured a preliminary injunction against Perplexity. This injunction targets their new Comet browser. The legal maneuver successfully blocks the Perplexity AI agent from autonomously navigating Amazon and purchasing products on behalf of users.
Looking at the enterprise infrastructure level, NVIDIA is preparing to launch a platform called NemoClaw. This is designed as a completely open platform for large enterprises. It allows companies to deploy and run AI agents across any varied hardware setup they own. NVIDIA is aggressively pitching this open infrastructure to legacy giants like Salesforce and Google.
Let us synthesize exactly what these updates mean for you. A definitive pattern is solidifying right in front of us. The era of the passive chatbot is over. The system that just sits there waiting for you to type a question is gone.
Right. I mean, we are no longer just prompting for text generation.
Exactly. An AI is drafting a financial spreadsheet using live market data. A visual system is letting you manipulate the variables of a physics equation on the fly. An autonomous agent is actively attempting to buy physical items on Amazon while legal teams try to stop it.
The entire industry has shifted its focus. We have moved from systems that simply converse to agents taking independent cross-modal actions across the internet.
And you don't need access to a gigawatt data center to leverage this shift. The enterprise-level capabilities we just discussed are rapidly filtering down into actionable applications. You can smoothly transition these into your own daily workflow. Let's walk through the trending tools making waves today.
First on the list is AI Reel. If you manage social channels, this streamlines the entire pipeline. You use it to generate custom AI videos and images from text prompts, but it doesn't just hand you the raw file.
It seamlessly pairs those generated visual assets with ready-to-use social media templates designed for specific platforms.
Next is Marketogen. This platform is custom built for marketing professionals facing tight deadlines. You input your core campaign parameters, and it instantly generates production-ready marketing copy.
But it goes a step further by delivering fully editable Figma design files populated with that copy, taking you from a blank page to a complete visual campaign in seconds.
If you are focused on professional growth, you should really check out Accomplish It. This is a career-building tool designed to solve the problem of forgetting what you actually do all day.
Yeah, you input your raw, messy weekly tasks and accomplishments. The tool analyzes that unstructured data and transforms it into polished career documents, resume updates, and performance reviews. It basically creates ready-to-use leverage points for your next promotion.
For those working in content creation, Viso acts as a massive design shortcut. You provide the raw copywriting you've developed. The system analyzes the intent and structure of your words and turns that text into clear, polished visual assets with a single click.
Eliminating the need to bounce between writing software and design suites. On the highly technical side, developers are gravitating toward Venvoy. This platform provides a complex solution to a growing problem. It acts as a multi-peer agentic communication mesh.
Basically, in simple terms, think of it as a universal translator for autonomous bots. If you have an accounting bot built on one framework and a scheduling bot built on a completely different framework, Venvoy provides the secure mesh network that allows those two distinct agents to communicate and coordinate tasks with each other.
Anthropic is also releasing specialized tools for developers today. They just launched Code Review. This is a targeted multi-agent system built specifically to handle pull request reviews directly within the Claude Code environment,
Automating one of the most tedious bottlenecks in software deployment.
And we also want to briefly cross-reference 2 specific tools from our news segment that are live and accessible right now. Gemini Embedding 2 is available in public preview, providing you with incredible cross-modal search capabilities.
And the interactive learning modules inside ChatGPT give you that real-time visual science manipulation we talked about for testing variables yourself.
We have discussed some truly staggering numbers today. When you step back and look at the whole picture, the scale is difficult to fully comprehend. Consider the metrics coming out of Maltbook alone.
You have 2.8 million autonomous bots operating, communicating, and generating culture alongside just 200,000 verified humans.
That ratio of 14 active bots for every 1 human user is not just a novelty, it's a blueprint.
Combine that social blueprint with the sheer physical infrastructure being built right now. Companies are dumping city-sized energy grids into artificial intelligence.
They're securing gigawatts of power to train systems that understand the physical physics of the real world. You really have to ask yourself if we are rapidly approaching a definitive tipping point.
As these highly specialized agents gain persistent memory, physical logic, and dedicated communication meshes to talk to one another, the majority of our digital lives may no longer consist of human-to-human interaction.
We are staring at a very near future where your personal agents communicate with other agents on your behalf, navigating a digital world that is built entirely for them, not us.
We encourage you to follow the feed so you never miss a shift in this landscape.
And definitely share this deep dive with a friend or colleague who needs to stay ahead of the curve as these changes accelerate.
We appreciate you tuning in.
See you in the next episode.